Monday morning. And very good Monday morning to you. It's, oh, look at that. We're booming out. We're bursting the banks this morning. And this is Mirador Radio from Lewis, the radio that precedes the Mirador television. And a little bit of nonsense all the way around. We hope that we keep on making strides forward. And at least we are now getting radio on the air, which we had a little bit of a problem for. I see from Mirador Television is live now on my phone, which says that you can see us while we're doing this. Not that there's much to see, just us farting around in the morning. Never mind. Right, let's. We're booming out, aren't we? We're booming out. I don't know why that is this way. All right, let's calm down a little. Let's calm down because we had a bit of a rush this morning. And what are we going to do this morning with you? We're going to do the usual mishmash. And I happen to have noticed that on the way in this morning, I came from New Haven this morning. It is a wonderful, wonderful town. It's not actually. The planners have got it all wrong, but it's got a terrific history because it's a port, and it's the port to Dieppe. And I'm happy to say that everybody remembers the fact that the Canadian forces left there on the Dieppe raid, the fateful Dieppe raid in 1942, I think it was, and it was a complete and utter disaster. We sent out a force of Canadian soldiers to test the waters, as it were, by raiding Dieppe, and they were immediately thrown into the jug. Actually, those that lived, a lot died, and Dieppe remembers them, and New Haven remembers them. And one of the nice things when you go into New Haven, and I'm actually doing two things at once, of course, as usual. That's why the little pause and the little gap. We've got the news headlines up now, so we can tell you what's going on in the world. In Dieppe, they honoured the Canadians, and in New Haven they honoured the Canadians. And the little park, the Memorial Park, as you go into the town, has always got the Canadian flag fluttering. And my wife, who is Canadian, thoroughly Canadian, loves going down to New Haven because they, for that very reason, that they remember Canada and the Canadians who gave their lives. So there you are. What's going on in the world today? Well, cancer. This is what the Daily Telegraph says. Cancer crisis risks replacing the pandemic. Well, I'm not a bit surprised because what we did was we ignored everything except the pandemic. We threw all our resources behind it, and we ignored a lot of the other things. And I've always supported Cancer Research UK, partly because there is a wonderful artist, wonderful lady who looks after it or contributes to it with her paintings, and she sells them at £100 a time. Doesn't take any money herself. She passes it on to Cancer Research UK, and they dropped something like 44 million quid. And so I'm a bit surprised that suddenly we're going to now there's a crisis over cancer. Well, that's been looming for some time, but nobody wanted to listen. Incidentally, our PR lady, who also contributes photographs, and later in the day you can see a collage of her photographs, Susan Harris, she does the PR for Cancer Research, and she does the PR for us, even though we're only just getting cracking, but you will hear from her, I assure you. She's a very competent lady. All right, that was the Daily Mail. The dentist will see you in 3 years. Well, it is getting to be that sort of thing. And we're going to have some rants and some raves on this program, both here and on television, over the next couple of weeks or so. Oh, yeah. I didn't sleep at all well again last night. Well, I'm in a place that I just don't like. Put it that way. And you don't sleep as a consequence. But last night, why am I telling you that? Oh yeah, the dentist will see you in 3 years. The reason that I'm where I am at the moment is that I suddenly couldn't walk, and I was bunged into hospital, and it was my Parkinson's playing up. But when I called the doctor to say I can't walk, I waited for 12 minutes. Actually, it was longer than that, but we'll be gracious. 12 minutes, only to get hold of a lady whom I'd never met before, didn't know what from Adam or from Eve, and I explained that I couldn't walk and I needed to talk to a doctor. So she looked at it and she came back. So yeah, I can get you to see a doctor in 3 days. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. Is all this big, magnificent stuff was meant to make it easier for us and to make medicine more accessible. And I believe that the government has said to doctors, hey, you're going to have to start none of this nonsense of talking to people on the internet and on the phone. You're going to have to start to go back to seeing people face to face. And it all worked then. Why on earth we tamper? We have a wonderful facility at the moment in this country that if something is working, it's to tamper it. And yet the old adage is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what that's all about. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Everybody keeps on wanting to fix it. All the stuff on the internet. I used a little app or whatever you call them. That gave me some really good photographs. What did they do? They tampered with it, and now I don't understand how they use it. They've screwed it up so badly. So I've gone somewhere else. I mean, how to lose business is to tamper with what you've got that works. Anyway, the dentist will see you in 3 years. Not a bit surprised. Oh, and the Express has gone the same thing. The dentist will see you in 3 years. The Express and the Mail say some were advised by surgeries to resort to DIY filling kits. Wow, a DIY filling kit, while others were kicked off waiting lists, according to a damning report. Oh, so what's going on in the dental industry then? You know, the fact of the matter is, I love my dentist dearly. I've got a very, very good dentist. He's looked after me for 20 years or more. So I'm not complaining, and I'm not going to kick him. Of course I'm not. But the cost of dentistry has zoomed. And not all of it is covered by the NHS. You know, people are looking at pretty fierce bills to get their teeth looked at properly. And if in fact they're having to wait, then of course, you know, it's a slow rotting process, isn't it? That's the trouble. The Eye says freedom on the 21st of June is looking good. Well, that's good. Glad to hear that. The news continues to be positive, the Eye says. And the final stage of the government's roadmap for easing coronavirus restrictions in England is looking good. So there we go. It may be that on June the 21st, is it? The 21st? I thought it was the 17th, but there we go. We can all go back into the pub and stand at the bar. I had a lovely couple of hours with two friends, Skit and Malcolm, on Saturday afternoon, in which we set the world aright. We got back to arguing in the way that we always argued, and we had a wonderful time. The only thing is we couldn't stand at the bar. We had to sit at a table, and that was in a pub called the Ark. I think it is the Ark in New Haven. Quite a nice pub. Nice people. I had lunch there yesterday because I went into Lewis on Saturday and had to come back straight away because I wasn't feeling 100%, and I just had a little problem or two lately. The son, Boris, to marry Carrie. The Prime Minister is not going to live in sin for much longer. He's so absolutely wonderful. That's a great headline, I think. Culture Secretary calls for changes at the BBC. Well, to be quite honest with you, nobody listens. Nobody listens in government. That's no. I could have told them 20 years ago that there's great changes needed in the BBC. The structure is all wrong. The people in charge are all wrong. They've got some idea that the BBC is such an institution that it is it's immune from any criticism or change. And really talented people have taken on the BBC. I worked with several of them. They took it on. And the first thing that the BBC does, if it's got anybody with any creativity or innovation or whatever, it fires them. It's just crazy because really what it wants to do is it wants to protect the status quo. Don't you come in here doing things that are going to get listeners. Don't you come in here and make people famous. Because that's what happened to me as well, along with the gentleman Phil Sidey, who created Pebble Mill at One. Some of you will remember. Oh dear, I can't stop yawning this way, so I think it's for us to play some music, shall we? There's something called Blue Sky here. Let's try that. Couldn't have said very well last night. Well, there we are. Blue sky, pretty enough. Well, that's enough. Who wants to be woken up with jazzy stuff first thing in the morning? Don't answer that. Now, here's a disturbing thing out of The Guardian, which is not followed the rest of the press, is just 1.6% of rape cases lead to a charge. That's very, 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 very low. 1.6%. I mean, it means that almost those people who are guilty of rape can get away with it without any problems. Lack of oxygen or something? Is that what makes you yawn? Anyway, I'm yawning like crazy. The Financial Times, Belarus arrests opposition activists after forcing a flight to land in Minsk. Now that's pretty terrifying. It's because Belarus is one of the last of the old Soviet dictatorships. And I use the word advisedly, dictator. And if they are now forcing aircraft to land so that they can arrest activists, then I think that not only the old Soviet Union, Russian Federation, but the rest of us are in pretty deep waters, very murky waters, which means that planes can be just forced out of the sky, just because Belarus, the people in Minsk feel that there's somebody on board that they want to arrest. Very ominous tones, very ominous indeed. And what's my favourite is the Star this morning, is a bank holiday scorcher after May Madness. Well, 24 degrees centigrade, it says, lovely, bubbly. The weather is set to hot up after a miserable May, and the Daily Star says temperatures will top 24 degrees centigrade next week. The paper reports in a heat bubble. Oh, we're going to be in a heat bubble. Not the best headline that it's had recently. Some of them have been very, very funny. But anyway, at least it's stayed on track to let us know that it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot, man. Oh, yeah. This is quite remarkable. I can't stop yawning this morning. I really can't stop. Oh, I'd better have a couple of glasses of champers, I guess, to get me going. Because soon I'm going to be on telly. Right. All right. Let's play one more thing. Let's see. There's something here called Kiss the Sky. Let's kiss the sky. Yeah. We dropped off, didn't we? And we've ended. That's good. Good morning. That was a good way to end because I needed 5 minutes to get the television ready. Oh dear, 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 dear.